Thanks so much for having me. I'll go through today some of our award-winning projects, as we mentioned a little bit ago, for NASA Centennial Challenges, and I'll tell you a little bit about Search Plus, the origins of the group, and some of our design process and thinking in bringing together these projects.
Yeah.
So the mission statement and the goal of Search Plus as a group and as a team is to conceive, investigate, and produce innovative human-centered designs which enable human beings to not only live, but to thrive in space environments beyond Earth. These are some of our habitation projects. Many of them are related to NASA Centennial Challenges, and they were submissions to those competitions. Some of them have been offshoots and projects that have been, I guess you could say, not offshoots, spin-offs from those projects and collaborations that have resulted basically that have led to other work with other entities. And yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about these today. In all of these projects, the one theme and the one thread that ties our work together is that we are looking to synthesize engineering constraints with human factors driven design innovation. And this is a very unique perspective which Search Plus as a group brings to the conversation of systems engineering and aerospace engineering in general, in that we are looking to celebrate human presence within space and on another planet by introducing human factors driven design innovation. We got our start. Search Plus was co-founded as a result of winning the Phase 1 Centennial Challenge for 3D printed habitat. And on the right, you'll see our 3 projects that we submitted to the Habitat Challenge. And this is a general framework for the 3D printed habitat challenge and how it was broken up into multiple phases. So in phase 1, we won first place for virtual design. This was exclusively a design competition. Phase 2, we did not participate. That was exclusively a construction prototyping competition. Phase 3 was both design as well as construction. And we were very fortunately able to win multiple levels of this phase of the challenge as well. So Mars Ice House, as we were speaking about earlier, was the first prize winner of the Phase 1 competition, the 3D printed habitat challenge, which essentially asked teams to present a schematic concept for a 3D printed, autonomously constructed 3D printed habitat on the surface of Mars that would house a crew of 4 astronauts for 1 year. We chose water ice as the primary building construction material because we believe that for any long-term sustainable mission presence on Mars, we're going to need water as a renewable resource, and it's going to be an integral part of the search for life on Mars as well. So absolutely, it's a source of life, and it will be an essential, mission-critical element that we need to seek and to store and to use. Most importantly, though, water is an effective radiation shield, more effective than aluminum and regolith. So we thought that this was a clear value add over other building construction methods and materials. Water is indigenous to Mars. We have clear evidence that there's water ice located even a few centimeters beneath the regolith surface. And finally, we were very interested in this idea that water ice can provide translucency to the astronauts on the inside of the habitat, providing natural light to humans and to plants. This was kind of a, I guess you could say, speculative concept for us at the time. We didn't have any examples apart from like terrestrial igloos to validate whether this was actually something that we could achieve. But in future research, we were able to validate that the translucency of the ice was something that we could accomplish. Conventional extraterrestrial architecture tends to rely on a pressure membrane such as you might find within an inflatable structure to contain the pressure on the inside of the habitat and to create a shirt sleeve environment for the astronauts and for the inhabitants. Another approach for shielding against radiation when it comes to space architecture and sort of proposals for space habitats is to go underground. So to bury the habitat in regolith and ensure that there is a sufficient barrier in terms of regolith mass to protect against galactic cosmic rays and solar particle events and radiation.
Yeah,
We did not want to go under, oh, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. I do have a question. So, what are the building materials are we looking upon, and what are their sustainability aspects of it?
So when it comes to traditional inflatables, we're looking at high, I guess you could say, precision manufactured fabrics and woven membranes. So Kevlar, Nomex, materials like these. Typically that can be folded, flat packed, and deployed and expanded. The Bigelow module aboard the ISS is a great example of this of an inflatable structure. So it's a very high.
Yeah. So in case of any damage, like what? How can you replace it?
That's a really good question. We don't have good examples of that, but what we do know is that the Bigelow module, the inflatable aboard ISS right now, is superior at protecting against micrometeorite debris than the ISS itself, than the aluminum shell. Even yesterday, there was an alert made by NASA that there was some unidentified orbital debris that the astronauts needed to protect themselves against, so they were going into hiding. What they've found is that the inflatable structures are actually better at resisting these impacts.
Yes, that.
Yeah, so it's a good thing. Obviously, going underground would solve a lot of those issues. So you don't have the risk of depressurization if you have an impact from a micrometeorite hit. You don't have the high risk of radiation dosage if you're on the surface. But for us, we were interested in sort of promoting this idea that we wanted a connection to the outer landscape. We wanted to think about and conceive about how we can create light and views to the Martian landscape. So this was a big design principle for us that we wanted to celebrate and that we wanted to develop in our work. So this led to the clear, in our design concept, this led to the decision to incorporate a clear pressurized membrane on the outside and a 3D printed ice shell on the inside. Again, we didn't have much evidence at the time that we can achieve the translucency that we wanted with the ice, but it's become a kind of ongoing point of research. So, and this is on the right, you'll see a chart that is sort of explaining this concept that water, because it is a hydrogen-rich material, or hydrogen-rich element, because it has a lot of hydrogen, it's superior shielding against radiation than aluminum and regolith. And this was a clear point, this was a clear value add from our perspective that ensured that this was actually going to be a superior design concept for shielding and protecting the astronauts.